Hi friends, I'm Ellen Gormley and welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing number 190 called Globes. It's this pattern here and it's from this book, 280 Crochet Shell Patterns by Leisure Arts, written by Darla Sims, and gosh, 2006 is the publication date of this one. So this is Globes 190, but I am actually changing it up a little bit because I just always do that. I can't help it. So I'm going to start with a worsted weight yarn. I'm going to use this pink and a J size hook. And it says to do a multiple of 7 plus 5. So this one I did 35 plus 5 more, and I don't know why I ended up with an extra one, but I did end up with an extra one. So I don't know whether the pattern is wrong or I just miscounted. Either way could happen. And I am really a lot more flexible now than I used to be. So I'm just going to go ahead and try it again. This time we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This hook will make me go a lot slower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plus 5. So we did 14 and we're doing 5 more for 19, 3, 4, 5. This is an interesting hook and I really don't love it, but I needed a J size hook and it was handy, so I grabbed it. Okay, so in the fourth chain from the hook, so 1, 2, 3, 4, in that one, I'm going to place 3 double crochets. So what I'm going to do is show you how to do this pattern, and then I think I'm going to change it a little bit by adding some color to it. So let's see what we can do. Kind of an intarsia style is what I'm thinking. So I placed 3 double crochets in that fourth chain from the hook. Now I will chain 2, 1, 2. Now we're skipping 6 chains. I find it easiest to count the back bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, skipping all of those. And then in the next one, in the placeholder right next to my fingers, I will do 3 double crochets. And, you know, chain 1 and then 3 double crochets all in the same stitch. Now, one of the things that I did change about this pattern as it was written was this original beginning base here is 3 double crochets, but look how it kind of crunches up. By the end, I decided to change this foundational row. So I am going to, maybe I'll do that on the next half. Chain 1, and then we're supposed to place 3 double crochets in that same spot. But because it's getting kind of squished there, by this time, this one is not as squished. This one's much flatter. I changed to double crochet, half double crochet, single, chain 1, single, half double, double. So I just felt like these stitches were too tall. So the other half of it would have been double, half, single, and then single, half, double, so that we make it kind of graduated low. So let's do that on the next row. But as written, Darla Sims wrote it as 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets. I can never leave well enough alone, can you? Chain 1, 2, and then we are already in our small swatch coming to the last 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it is saying to skip 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In the 7th one, oh, I must have miscounted the first time on my swatch because this one is coming out exactly correctly. So I must have miscounted when I did my swatch. So the multiple is indeed 7 for each column that you want plus 5. Okay, so you want, well, and it's actually like, this was 7 times 5 for 5 repeats, but half the repeat is over here and half the repeat is over here. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4 complete repeats, but when you did the last 7 plus the 5, that's this half a column and this half a column added together. Does that make any sense at all? Okay, so we have 2 chains left. We're placing 3 double crochets in the last chain before the final chain, and in that final chain we're just going to double crochet 1 time. So now it is like bookends on either side of our piece. Okay, so remember we did 14. So we had technically 2 repeats. We did 7 2 times for 14. Well, here's the 1 repeat, here's half a repeat, and here's half a repeat. So yes, it is 2 repeats. It's just they're split up. Okay, so that gives you a sense of what you want to do if you are customizing this into a shawl or a scarf or a blanket or whatever. Know that one of your repeats is going to be split in half and placed on either edge. And so you'll subtract visually the number of sand dollar type columns all the way up. Okay, does that make sense? All right, so now we are going to do row 2, which is chain 1, 2, 3. And we will go ahead and do, so skipping the very first one underneath it, in the first full double crochet that's not part of underneath the chain, we're going to place 3 double crochets. So we're making this half of a shell over here on the 1 column. So 3 double crochets there. Then we are going to chain 2, okay, skip these, and in this next chain 1 space between double crochet groupings, or if you ended up doing the graduated stitches like I talked about for that first row, in the chain 1 space between them, we're going to do 3 double crochets, and this is going to be same whether you do her pattern or you do my adjusted version. It's only that first row or the bottom of the egg cup, the bottom third of the hemisphere of that round globe that gets the adjustment that I am suggesting if you choose to do it that way. So in this chain 1 space, we are placing 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets, and I'll show you. Okay, so that's where we are. We're placing 2 chains, 1, 2, and you're like, Ellen, how is that right? There's no 2 chain spaces here because we're going to tie them all together on the next row. I'll show you. Okay, so we did our 2 chains. We're skipping all of this stuff. We're skipping the first 2 double crochets over here. In the third double crochet of the group, we're placing 3 double crochets. And we will double crochet in the last double crochet. And get that in there. Okay, now we're going to chain 3 and turn just like we have been. So that is consistent throughout all the rows. And now we get to do the magic of tying them together. So this is going to start the same way we started before. So we're finishing the top of the globe, believe it or not. So we're going to pinch these together, ooh, magic, to make the rounded part. And then this is like this row, the third row is like the cap or the cherry on top of the globe. So skipping the first one, or maybe it's like Iceland way at the top. Go check out my Iceland video, the fiber tour of Iceland video. Go check that out when you're done here. So 3 double crochets in that first double crochet that's not part of the turning chain. Then instead of chaining 2, or do we chain 2? Okay, we're chaining 1, and now we're going to slip stitch in this gap 2 rows below. So we're tying all of those chain 2 spaces together with a slip stitch and a chain 1 to give us a little bit of slack so that we can then make our next cap or Iceland on top of the globe with the 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets, all in that chain 1 space. Okay, so we are going to do that. And then we're going to start playing with color. Now that you'll know the basics of it, I want to show you how to do an intarsia style color scheme with this little globe pattern. I think if you're a person who has big hands, I think this hook, this Addy hook would be really good. I'm not sponsored. They are not aware that I'm using this. They probably wouldn't be pleased that I don't love it, but I don't really love it. But if you had big hands, I think you would love it. It's just, and it is ergonomic, so people might really like that, but it's not my cup of tea, but that's okay. Okay, so we did the 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets, all in that space. We did a chain 1, we slip stitched under the 2 rows of chain 2s, and now we chained 1, and now we're going to go ahead and place a Oh, did I accidentally skip one over here? I did. I should have done 3 double crochets there. I'm going to go ahead and do 3 double crochets in that final double crochet of the grouping before we place one more double crochet in the turning chain. Okay. I hope that you find crochet to be a relaxing and valuable use of your time, the way I do. So we're going to chain 1, 2, 3. Now, you know that I've been totally in love with color lately because I've been working on the, what do you call it? My greenery blanket. And we're doing tons and tons and tons of color. So if you want to play along with that, you can check out the greenery blanket playlist, either right or left-handed. So now let's go to playing with color. So I'm going to make this first grouping in the light pink. So skip the one underneath the chain. And this is what I should have done last time but didn't, which is place 3 double crochet in that chain or in that top of that double crochet. Don't just skimp and put 2 like I cheated on the last time. Make sure you get all 3 double crochets in there. Now we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and we will change color now. Let's see. I guess we could probably change color here. So as we are yarning over and pulling through the last double crochet of this grouping, let's see what happens. I've not tried this, but you can try this at home. You totally can try this at home. I'm trying it right now without practicing it. I'm going to yarn over and pull through with the new color. Then I'm going to drop that pink and I'm going to do 2 chains with the magenta. Now I'm going to yarn over, and in that chain 2 or chain 1 space, I'm going to do my little graduated stitch method, which is double crochet, half double crochet, and single crochet. I hope I haven't totally confused you. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Then chain 1, and instead of 3 double crochets, again, we're going to do the opposite, which is 1 single, 1 half, and 1 double crochet. That way, it just makes, instead of squeezing, it just makes it lie flatter just for this one row. If you don't want to do it this way, that's fine. Then you would just do your 3 double crochets without doing graduated stitches. Now, technically, I should change yarn again here. Should I use the blue again? Move this out of the way. I should change color here because I'd prefer to change color on a double crochet than I would prefer to change color on a chain. So I'm going to finish the stitch with the blue. I'm going to chain 2, 1, 2. And now I will finish with skipping all of that stuff, placing 3 double crochets in the last double crochet of the grouping. 1, 2. Give myself some slack. Put 1 more double crochet there. I don't want to cheat myself out of a stitch. So then I will place 1 more double crochet in the turning chain here. Okay, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and turn. Okay, so the problem with this is you might have, you'll just have these ends here because I'm going to go in columns now, almost in Tarja style. So we're going to stay with the glue. We'll stay with the glue a little bit longer. So, because you know I love blue, and yeah, maybe it is the glue. Maybe it is the glue of all my color schemes. Maybe that's not a Freudian slip, but in fact the truth. Okay, so as I finish up the final 3rd double crochet, I'm going to drop the blue. I'm going to pick up the working magenta and pull this through and chain 1, 2. Okay, now I'm going to do the next one, and after the foundation of graduated stitches, I just need to find that chain 1 space and place double crochets in there. So I don't need to do any more graduated stitches on the other rows. So 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and 1, 2, 3 double crochets all in the same space, all in the same chain 1 space. Now, if you have trouble with that and you want to chain 2 for the space so that you can find the space easier, you certainly can do that, but it might give you more of an optical illusion of the dots or the holes going up the chain spaces there in the middle. This makes it more solid to do just a chain 1 space. So I'm going to back up half a stitch because I'm going to yarn over with, drop the magenta and yarn over with the pink to do the next column in the light pink. Tension up the magenta just a little bit. Make sure my tension on the pink is not too tight. Chain 1, 2. And then we'll do our end column, which is a half a column of 3 double crochets. So you really can add color anywhere you want, pretty much any time you want. And when you do color changes vertically in this intarsia style, it's just unexpected. It's just different than what you would normally expect. It does make it maybe a slightly harder or more confusing. You can check out my color work video where I talk about the difference between intarsia and fair isle and tapestry. Okay, so 3 double crochets. So the pattern is still the same here. It's just we're changing color. That's the only thing that's changing. So as we yarn over with that final stitch, I'm going to pick up the magenta. Now the magenta just is going to come straight up the back, and I will yarn over and pull through, get all my tension nice and easy. I'm going to chain 1. I'm going to dip down and slip stitch 2 rows down like we did before. Cover up all those chain 2 spaces, chain 1, and then place our 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets, all in that same space. And then as we finish our last double crochet of this grouping, this little Iceland on top of the globe, then we will yarn over with the new color, which is the blue. The blue is the next one available, so we know that's the next one to pick up. We're going to pull through with the blue, tension everything up nice and neat, chain 1, slip stitch down 2 rows, tying all of that stuff together in one tidy little package. Go ahead and slip stitch over any, I've got it caught. Okay, try again. So get yourself a nice hole there and slip stitch around everything that you can. Slip stitch, chain 1. Now you are going to see a little bit of color through that, but it's still pretty cool. So, and then we're going to 3 double crochet and double crochet in the last double crochet. So it will give us more of a intarsia style column looking overall appearance. Okay, so this is what we've done. So now we have a column of pink, a column of magenta, and a column of blue. So you can add color. So here it is in just 1 color. Here it is in 3 colors, and I hope you love it. Please like and subscribe. Check out the greenery blanket, and that's all for today. Have a relaxing and valuable evening. Thanks. Bye.